Ladies and gentlemen, now that the draft is over, let's take a look at some of the teams and just say where I think they could be. A lot could change, Guys like Tyreek Hill, Aaron Rodgers haven't been signed. It's not gonna turn the Dolphins into Super Bowl contenders, but still good players, potential injuries at training camp. A lot can happen between now and the start of September. The Saints? Okay. This is a weird one. I think the Saints, they're not wild card contenders. I don't think there's a chance in hell that they're a wild card team. But they could potentially win the division. I know. But Tyler Shough, if he takes the next step, Etienne Kamara, solid RB duo. Olave, and the guy a lot of Giants fans wanted, Jordan Tyson, and then you got Juwan Johnson, solid O-line. The defense lost some core pieces, but I think this offense could take the next step. And based on what the Carolina Panthers defense looked like last year, and still winning the division, a lot could happen. Dolphins. Next, Baltimore Ravens. A lot of people want them here. I'm going to put them here as now. I'm not really super familiar with the head coach. Because if this head coach is really the change they needed, and this is the new voice that they needed, boom. But if you're just like, oh crap, he's not John Harbaugh, so I'm putting them right in between. I think they'll be a strong, solid contender. Next up, we have the Cincinnati Bengals. I know I haven't been posting for a long time whatsoever, but my friends will always tell you I am a huge Baltimore, Cincinnati Bengals hater. But I believe. Alright, hear me out. Joe Burrow, Ja'Marr Chase, T. Higgins. Still not the best O-line, but they're not egregiously atrocious. Mike Gesicki, solid tight end. Chase Brown, solid. And then you have a guy like Dexter Lawrence, Boye Mafe. These are some solid. I am not calling Dexter Lawrence solid. He is much better than solid. I feel like this is one of the best defenses of the Cincinnati Bengals you've ever seen in the Joe Burrow era. Burrow's still there. Higgins is still there. Chase is still there. They could all be in their primes. And if injuries don't get them, then the Bengals could get you. And this is a scary team that nobody's talking about. Next up, we got the Broncos. I'm going to call them a Super Bowl contender. I mean, come on. They made the AFC Championship. A lot of people would have probably had them as favorites if Jarrett Stidham wasn't the starter. No diss on Stidham, but Bo Nix is Bo Nix. Reliable coaching. Jalen Waddle. Just some quality improvements to a team that was already the 1 seed. But if you're the 1 seed and you improve, what am I going to do? Call you a wildcard team? No. New York Giants. No. You're better than the Saints. No. Alright. I just don't want the Saints to be there. The Giants. Were they atrocious last year? Yes. Did they have Brian Dable and a guy a lot of people said did deserve to even sniff a head coaching job afterwards? Yes. Now they have John Harbaugh. No diss on Dable. He did great with Dart. But the defense didn't produce. Now you got Jackson Dart developing. Scatterboo developing. Neighbors developing. Mooney, Calvin Austin, rookie wide receiver from the 3rd round, Isaiah Likely. Improved O-line with Francis Maligoa. And you got some other people. But, I think Maligoa is going to be the standout signing. Not signing, just person you insert there. Abdul Carter, if he takes the next step, crazy. Thibodeau still on the roster. Brian Burns was top 3 in sacks last year. DJ Reader just signed today. Then you got Shelby Harris, Alexander, and you got Tremaine Edmonds. And a solid new and improved secondary. And you add some coaching experience. And you have a last place schedule. If they're healthy, who knows? Maybe they could be the next Patriots. Minnesota. I really want to put them here. I want to put them here. Right now, as of this very moment, right here. They lost some pieces. They lost some important pieces. But this offense hasn't lost a step. And they got Kyler Murray. You saw what DeAndre Hopkins was able to do when Kyler was throwing in the ball. Now you got Justin Jefferson. This team has such a high ceiling. But they could also just go 6-11. Next. Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This is the furthest I can put them. I love the draft. I absolutely love the draft. But you saw how Baker performed without Mike Evans. And then you lose a key leader to your defense. Someone's got to step up as that voice. Without Evans, the team kind of collapsed. Without Evans and some of their leaders since day one leaving, they could be 5-12. They could be 12-5. They're a wild card contender. Except, I feel like this is just a battle for the division. Lions, they are playoff contenders. You can call them a Super Bowl contender. You can call the Ravens a Super Bowl contender. You can even call the Bengals a Super Bowl contender. But are you saying that this team is at the very top? No. They went 9-8. I don't recall any major injuries outside of Hutchinson, who is a key part of their team. But, Aiden Hutchinson didn't cause the entire defense to implode and the O-line to implode. I like the draft, but this team has some gaping holes. And their head coach has too many balls. No, too big of balls to be trusted at times. Not saying he's a bad coach. I think he's a strongly influential guy. But if you are down 6, 2 minutes left, is this the team you want? I know you got Amon-Ra, I know you got Gibbs. This they got some flashy weapons. But by an offensive carried team, like they're an offensive carried team, kind of like the Bengals. Or is this the team you really want with 2 minutes left? I'd feel so much safer if it was either of these two teams. Speaking of 2 minutes left, the Bears, they are a playoff team. Am I saying the Lions and the Bears are better than the Vikings? If they each had an average season, yes. The Vikings could easily be Super Bowl contenders, but they could also easily be 5-12. These two teams, they have a much lower floor, which makes me more comfortable in them. I mean, I like what their GM's doing. Got some nice, solid pieces. They're just going to build upon it. The 49ers. The fact that this team still put in a fight when they pretty much lost all their team within some point of the season is absurd. Was their draft terrible? Kinda. But are you not terrified of this team? I feel like it's kind of like the Eagles. They were kind of underestimated due to injury, but they still kind of showed up. Speaking of the Eagles, ooh, oh man, oh god, I'm a Giants fan. I have PTSD because of this team. I want to say, oh yeah, they're Super Bowl contenders because they just destroy my team every time I watch them. But then you look at this team. Who do I have winning in a matchup? Eagles or Ravens? I have the Ravens. So unless I have the Ravens up to a Super Bowl contender, completely possible, I think the Eagles would just be a playoff contender. They didn't have any significant improvements, and I feel like they kind of just lost a little bit more of what they already had. I don't know. Jalen Phillips, Mekhi Lemon, that's great. But you're also going to lose A.J. Brown. I just don't know if what you're putting in is equal to what you're putting out. And if you were kind of a fraud last year, I can't call you a Super Bowl contender. Raiders? Give me bleh. You see how all of these teams are in the NFC? I'd be shocked if the Raiders weren't either third or fourth in their division. Unless one of the three teams in front of them collapses, or Fernando Mendoza's that guy, I kind of see this as a building year. They're much better than the Titans. And like the last year's Titans. They got pieces. Maybe this is secretly the next Patriots and it's not the Giants. But right now, do I have faith in Fernando Mendoza? I'm not saying he's a bad quarterback, it's just I haven't seen him at the pro level. Right now, the Raiders are in fact bleh. Packers, they're wildcard contenders. I just didn't really see much significant improvement. And they were kind of mid last year. I just don't really know what else to see. Washington. I'm gonna call them wildcard contenders, but I so badly want to put this team at bleh. For a team that relies on a guy like Jayden Daniels, based on his health, and how they performed with Jayden Daniels before the season. They had some great free agency moves. And am I really saying that the Commanders would just get dominated by the Saints? No. I feel like this team should be a bleh, but based on what they did in the offseason and based on what I've seen from them, they could do some dangerous things. Alright, now we have the Steelers. I'm going to put the Steelers at wildcard contender. I'm just saying Kenny Pickett led them to the playoffs. Anything can happen. Still great defense. They had some underrated receiving additions. And if they get Rodgers back, I could probably push this team up to playoffs. Bills, you're no Super Bowl contender in my mind. I don't like the new head coach thing. I feel like Sean McDermott was not the problem. Personally, I'd say it's the refs. I just feel like that was kind of an unlucky play. But how could you blame McDermott when it was the offense that was being run by your offensive coordinator that kind of let you down? I don't really know. And I didn't see this team do anything crazy. I feel like they're kind of going to be the same old Bills with just a new person in the room. So it's kind of like the same room as the Baltimore Ravens, but I think the Ravens are so much more talented. Falcons, welcome to the NFC South. I mean, this is just a team who I'd say has a chance of making the playoffs. I feel like I'm going to divide this at some point, but right now it's up to this. Seahawks. In my mind, I think the Ravens could probably have a better season than the Seahawks. The Seahawks lost some quality pieces, and now they're facing a pretty difficult schedule. But they just won the Super Bowl. I can't say that about the Ravens, Bengals, Lions, Bears. Just skip the Eagles for now. The Bills. Like the Eagles, it's been a while. Like 2 or 3 years. Forever ago. But like, come on. I gotta put them on there. But I feel like there will be a step back. Patriots. Let me cook real quick. I'm just gonna leave them there for now. Next. CJ Stroud can play like he did rookie year. Bada bang, bada boo. If he plays like he did last year, they're kind of here, so I'm just going to leave him here for now. You want me to put him here? No, you don't want me to put him here. Do you want me to put him here or here? But they're really here. Come on. I know they lost some pieces. Delane, he's going to do fine. Their D-tackle room just got a huge boost. I don't know what the plan is with Justin Fields. I don't know if he's going to be backup or they're going to do some really cool stuff. But I can't wait to watch that. Kenneth Walker, yes please. In my mind, this team could be Super Bowl contenders. Right now, it's that. Cowboys. Their biggest problem was defense. Their offense was great. Offense is still great. Defense now has Caleb Downs and a ton of other pieces like Jalen Thompson, Rashawn Gary. What else is there to say? Chargers are still the Chargers. They're doing great. I'm not going to call them... I think the Chiefs are still better. But there's no crazy move the Chargers made. And drafting a 25-year-old, like, that does help you now. Like, I'm struggling to see the vision at times. Yeah, the injuries were terrible. But I'd say the Chiefs I'd say they got better. Especially with Mahomes coming back. This is going to be a much better team. Broncos, I feel like they're going to be the same, if not just a little bit worse, and the Raiders are going to be much better. I feel like they're going to be under so much more division pressure, and everyone else got better around them and less them. So I feel like that kind of demotes them a bit. The Jets? You know what? You are bleh. You are in fact bleh. They've had a great free agency. I'm kind of liking the draft, especially since Arvell Reese went to the Giants. I love that. But outside of that, I see the vision. The Panthers. This should just be renamed NFC South and Friends. I love the free agency. But this is like filling the holes of, the Green Bay Cheeseheads, that type of cheese. There are a lot of holes in this team. They could be bleh. They could be first in the division. I don't really know. Titans. Bleh. They should take a big step, yes. But a big step is in like 2 to 3 more wins. I haven't seen anything crazy. They should just hopefully develop into a better team. I like their coaches. Solid free agency, solid draft. Interesting paying Wan'Dale all that money while you have Calvin Ridley and then drafting Carnell Tate. I don't know what the plan is. You can't tell me before Daniel Jones was hurt that the Colts weren't Super Bowl or playoffs teams at bare minimum. Now it's a matter of, can Daniel Jones do it again? If he can't, they're ass. They didn't really have a good free agency. They didn't really have a good offseason. They got worse. So I'm moving them from playoff team to wild card contention. But this is really like me saying, oh, you have a chance. And then the Jaguars, a lot of people want to put them here. Some people even want to put them here. Based on the offseason they had and what they did to fill it, I just don't see the vision again. I'm going to split up this category. Alright. Could make playoffs, but kinda bleh. New category. Here we go. I'm gonna say the Saints. I'd say the Giants would kill the Saints. Bucks can stay. Vikings can stay. Packers can stay. Commanders are getting demoted. Steelers. If the Steelers played the Giants, who would win? Steelers would lose. If they played the Bucks, who would win? Probably the Bucks. I'm gonna put them down here. Packers are fine. Falcons can. Alright. The Falcons, here's what I'm gonna say. Michael Penix, I just don't know what on God's green earth is going on with you. Like, with the injuries, I don't know what's going on. And then, to replace an injury-prone quarterback, you hire an injury-prone quarterback. I like the defense, like the Avion Terrell, and I love who you're surrounding Penix with. But it also comes down to Penix. I like Kevin Stefanski. And you know what, to be honest? I'd say they're Giants level. I'm going to put them back up. Yeah. The Colts, they have worse defense than the Steelers, worse supporting cast. Outside of Jonathan Taylor and Tyler Warren, they're pretty good. But, like, really? I mean, yeah. And am I really saying the Broncos are the only AFC team that's going to be up there? No. Ravens and Broncos. Is this the AFC Championship? No. In my head, I think Chiefs will make it. But as of right now, Chiefs are a playoff team. They're just a playoff team. But it's kind of a Mahomes thing. That's all I gotta say. And you know what? The Patriots, they did great. So here are my three representatives. My next two guys. We got the Chiefs and Texans. We got the Lions and we got Philly. And I guess the Lions. I'm more scared of them than I am of Chicago. Unless there's 2 minutes left, of course. And then we got Buffalo, Chicago, Bengals. Like these three are like the after meal. But yeah, here are my rankings. Let me know what you guys would change, and I'll see you next time.